Hey there, it's your girl Diamond Drip, bringing you the insights and strategy you need in 15 minutes or less. So, who is Mitzi?
Mitzi. Oy. Well, Mitzi is someone that is just an overthinker. Let's be honest. If I was not an overthinker, I don't know what I would be. This is how I've been always. I think it's because the intuitiveness that I have. You know what I mean? So I'm very intuitive. I'm very keen to things spiritually, and I I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. You know what I'm saying?
There is,
Because some people are so used to saying like, "Oh, I am a life coach that brings happiness to the world, and I'm here to bring peace to everyone so that they can love themselves and others." No, that's not me. If you don't love me, that's fine. I don't know. I guess I'm just real and honest and blunt, and I overthink, and I love to talk to people to make sure that I'm not crazy.
I can respect that. I can respect that. And listen, there is no right or wrong answer. It's who you are. There is no right or wrong way. Though I am curious because you did bring up coach, and I know you to be a coach and a writer a little bit. So, what do you do, Mitzi, as an overthinker?
Hmm, that's interesting. I like the way that you stated it because I don't see it that way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like these labels and these titles are so beautiful because it comes with so much power, but
Mhm.
because I humble myself so much, I don't feel that grand of importance. So I love writing. I love podcasting. I love being a mother. I love thinking outside of the box and using my imagination. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I try to promote is just thinking outside of the box. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we're so focused, and when you're able to get out of it, not only are you able to use your creativity and your imagination, but you are also able to resolve the problem.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And I have that thing about labels too. It's one of the reasons why it took me so long to finally just be like, I'm a business coach. That's what I do. Because if you want me to pick something, I'm picking something. Here it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, "Ooh, if I have to pick something, yeah.
Right? Because anything else that I was saying that actually aligned with me spiritually, I had to explain it. And it was like, I'm spending more time explaining what I do, which is preventing us from getting past this one threshold to get to who you actually are. Like, this is just what I do. So, okay, well,
Exactly.
my next question for you is who do you serve and why?
Ooh, that's a strong statement. I mean, a strong question. I guess I can say I serve God, you know. That's one thing I can strongly say and hold on to and not be afraid or ashamed to say and project out into the world because he saved my life. And I feel that if I live my life according to him, then at least it gives me peace inside. Not everybody will understand why you do things, what's the reason for it, or how could you even do it when can feel so unnormal. You know what I mean? Like sometimes God asks you to do things in the moment that seems like it shouldn't be done because it's not what you're surrounded by, you know what I mean? So when you step out of the line, I guess you can say, because that's what it feels like. Once you finally step out of the line, you finally realize like, this is the direction that I need to go. So yeah, I serve God and he's my reason.
Beautiful. And in terms of people with your books, with your business, who would you say your niche is?
That's really hard to say
Okay.
because right now I have my children's books
It can be
as you
bucket.
know. And
Multiple
right
buckets.
now it's like for parents and the children, and just that creativity of what if and the imagination. I love that, and inside of me, I feel like I have a lot of it because there's so much darkness. You know what I mean? And I think that's where my novels come in, and my novels are for the people who are still in the dark and who are finding themselves, who are confused, who prefer fantasy because I add bits and pieces in my life because obviously every writer does, but in reality I have to add fantasy because fantasy allows you to be very creative and use your imagination in a way where it can trick people. You know what I mean? And people don't realize that when you're getting tricked, you're actually getting that strong question of reflection that people actually need. So I guess my audience for my books is really anybody who really needs it.
That makes sense. And it sounds like it's when you're talking about the dark, it's more of that mental space, kind of like in that place of emotional pain almost.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. And what would you say are things that the people who your books are for, what would you say are things that they struggle with the most? Is it to the point that they can't get out of bed or like they're functioning, they just, they don't know what they're living for? Like, what would you say is something they struggle with?
Um, I guess I would have to say they're functioning, but they're in a routine and they feel alone. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time when we're in a routine and we feel alone and we feel stuck and we feel, that just I'm moving, but I'm not really grooving type of deal,
Yeah.
those are my people because I, in my books, I make you think and I make you point it out and I make you reflect. And it's for those people who like drama, you know what I mean? Who
Mhm.
who who don't like to necessarily watch drama, but they like drama at the same time. They won't watch the reality shows,
Yeah.
but they'll watch out everything else that has a little increments of drama in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. And for those people who maybe haven't found one of your, it sounds like very helpful books, or they haven't like tapped into your universe, like this is their first instance of you, what would you give as like a word of wisdom or motivation or inspiration to those people feeling stuck?
Hmm. That's a good question. Um, I guess understand time differently.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because the problem with feeling stuck and feeling overwhelmed is we don't have a good concept of time. You know what I mean? And I think that was my biggest problem is when I was in my dark times, I always felt like it was forever.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And my concept of time wasn't real,
yeah.
and I think once we realize our time is different and the concept of how we perceive time is actually different, then you realize you have enough time, and if this is your last time around the earth for anybody out there who believes in resurrections and living multiple lives, I think if this is your last time to go around the earth, wouldn't you want to make it count? You know what I mean? Wouldn't you really want to make this time matter? And I think when you step into my universe with Mitzi thinking and you are exposed with my blogs and my podcasts and my books and everything that's going to come out of me, I think reflect on your time because time can escape you, but time can also be your best friend.
Ooh, I love that. As someone who's like trying to change their own narrative of time, because I'm very much like type A perfectionist, like boom, 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 boom. I'm like loving that so much. Okay, cool. So I am understanding that you love writing and that how many books have you written, by the way? How many is it now?
I have three children books, and I'm in the process right now of writing my novel. Like, I'm at the end. Like I'm at the last of the end of the end of the proofreading. Like I've been holding on to this novel for years, but I'm telling myself it has to be done. It has to be done. So yeah, it's gonna be coming out soon.
Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. So now that you are nearing the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were, what would you give as a crucial first step insight for someone who's like, I know I have a book in me, the writing, editing, publishing, distribution part, I don't know. I just know it's in me. What would you say is a crucial first step tip that you could offer for someone who might be starting their journey?
First thing is brace yourself. Brace yourself and pace yourself. You have to pace yourself because when you dive into research, everything feels like it's a lot at once and you feel like you need to start backwards.
Yeah.
And it's like backwards to me is looking for a publisher when you haven't even written your book. Like, what are you doing? No, don't do that. Like, you know how many publishers are out there? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Don't go that direction. Write your book. You know what I mean? Start with one page. Give yourself a goal. I'm just gonna write one page. One page. That's all it comes down to. One page a day. You'll be surprised that when you start to write that one page, more will come out, more and more and more. And before you know it, you have yourself a book. You're already 100,000 words in or 50,000 words in, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's done, you know? But if people like structure, like myself, work with an outline, get all of your ideas out, exactly what you want your book to have, what it doesn't want to have, the excitement, the plot, all of that goodness. Write down who your main characters are, if you're gonna have, you know what I mean? If that's the structure that you want, I like that structure. That's what I do when I start my novel is outline and then I start from there and then you add the details, do your first draft, write as much as you can, just let it out. And then when you go back to proofread, you're gonna see, oh, you can add in this details and this details, and before you know it, a year or two in, or however long you actually give yourself to this book, you will actually have something beautiful. And I say beautiful because it comes from you.
Oh, yes. I love that. And we share that same trait of like needing structure. So like we're here. So I'm like, yes. So many golden nuggets. So as we round out our time here, I am curious, and I'm sure our listeners are curious, how can we connect with you and experience you in your zone of genius?
Well, you can always check me out at mitzythinking.com. That's my website. It's Mitzi with MITZI, ZI, just in case anybody's confused because there's so many Mitzys out there. I don't know. But, just check it out, mitzythinking.com. You'll find all the greatness that I have to offer and all of the greatness that I love to share of other people. And you'll see a lot of goodness that I have to share out to the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'll be linking the items that you sent me in our show notes. I am so grateful for your presence here today. You have shared so many wonderful insights. And I love that you started by just being you. No titles, no labels. And that's just, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me even be on your show. This is such an honor and I'm so grateful to even be here. This is yay for me.
Yay. And stay tuned because her book is coming. So you need to
Yes,
check it out.
it
Until
is. I
next time.
promise.
Until next time.